What if everything you've been told about the importance of sex is just wrong? Society bombards us with messages about how crucial it is for happiness, relationships, and even identity. Yet, a growing number of people are thriving without it. Could abstinence unlock hidden potential? Could true sexual freedom, paradoxically, come from saying no? Today, we're diving into the surprising impacts of going without sex. Drawing on ancient philosophies, psychological insights, and life stories, we'll explore why some choose celibacy, not as deprivation, but as a path to clarity and liberation. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just rethink everything you know about intimacy and desire. In a world where sexuality is increasingly visible through pop culture, social media, and dating apps, something unexpected is happening. People are having less sex. According to psychologist Dr. Jean Twenge, the number of sexually inactive adults under 30 has sharply increased in the last 2 decades. Among young men, this decline is especially pronounced. Some experts blame the rise of online distractions, while others point to economic pressures or evolving values. Sociologist Catherine Hakim argues that modern society may be over-prioritizing sex, stating, "In the obsession with sexual liberation, we may have overlooked something more important: genuine connection and personal fulfillment." This cultural shift is forcing us to reconsider: is sex really as essential as we've been led to believe? The question of abstinence isn't new. Ancient thinkers grappled with whether sex is necessary, or even beneficial, for a meaningful life. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, challenged the pursuit of physical pleasures, saying, "It is impossible for a man to begin to learn what he thinks he already knows." For him, sexual desire was a distraction from personal growth. Similarly, Hindu philosophy speaks of brahmacharya, the practice of celibacy or controlled desire. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna advises, "One who controls the senses by the mind and directs their activities to self-realization is wise and free." This principle emphasizes mastery over one's impulses, not repression, but conscious redirection. Buddhism echoes this idea. The monk Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Desire is a flame that consumes the self. Let go, and you will see clearly." Celibacy, in this sense, is about clarity and liberation from attachment. While sex can bring joy and intimacy, it isn't without risks. Beyond the physical dangers of sexually transmitted infections, there are emotional risks, unreciprocated feelings, dependency, and even heartbreak. Psychologist Erich Fromm, in The Art of Loving, warned that modern society often confuses love with lust, stating, "The act of sex in itself is no proof of love. True love demands care, respect, and responsibility." This suggests that over-prioritizing sex can lead to shallow connections and dissatisfaction. Consider the emotional void some try to fill through sex. French philosopher Blaise Pascal observed, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Is it possible that the relentless pursuit of pleasure distracts us from deeper fulfillment? Choosing celibacy is not just abstaining, it's embracing freedom. Buddhist monk Nyan Moli describes celibacy as the shedding of a burden, allowing the mind to focus on higher pursuits. In the words of Leo Tolstoy, "Man's task is not to indulge his desires, but to control them." Tolstoy himself adopted celibacy later in life, believing it freed him to focus on his spiritual and intellectual pursuits. This principle isn't exclusive to monks or philosophers. Everyday individuals who choose celibacy often report feeling liberated from societal pressures and the constant pursuit of romantic validation. What if sexual energy could be repurposed into something greater? This is the concept of sexual transmutation, a term popularized by Napoleon Hill In Think and Grow Rich, Hill wrote, "The desire for sexual expression is the most powerful human desire. When harnessed and redirected, this energy can transform mediocrity into genius." Nikola Tesla is a famous example of this principle. Tesla credited his celibacy with his ability to channel his focus and creativity. Similarly, Muhammad Ali famously abstained from sex before fights, claiming it heightened his discipline and energy. This idea isn't confined to legendary figures. Psychologist Carl Jung suggested that libido is not just sexual energy, but a life force that can be channeled into art, intellect, and spirituality. He believed that sublimation of this energy led to greater self-realization. Abstinence offers more than practical benefits. It can be a transformative journey. Author Hermann Hesse, in Siddhartha, illustrates this beautifully. He who has conquered his passions has conquered the world. This sentiment reflects how abstinence can deepen self-awareness and foster inner peace. Many spiritual traditions see celibacy as a gateway to enlightenment. Buddhist monks practice it to eliminate distractions, while Christian mystics like St. Augustine viewed it as a path to divine connection. On a psychological level, celibacy can help individuals develop emotional resilience and independence. Clinical psychologist Dr. Meg Jay explains that abstinence allows people to focus on their personal values rather than seeking validation through external relationships. In the end, this isn't about promoting celibacy or condemning sex. It's about encouraging you to reflect. Are your choices around intimacy aligning with your true values, or are they dictated by societal expectations? Oscar Wilde once said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Whether you choose celibacy, intimacy, or a balance between the two, the key is authenticity, living a life that aligns with your unique desires and goals. If this video made you think differently about sex and celibacy, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Drop a comment below. How do you view the role of sex in your life? Let's keep the conversation going.